Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. Um, I checked out my. This is sort of another Hollywood celebrities dropping like flies sort of adjacent thing, and I checked out my toolbar. I have two toolbars and two different browsers that I use for my different. Really three browsers up because I have the Gratefulness meditation channel as well, and so rather than signing in and signing out of accounts. Plus, I just have all these tabs open, and I have two sections on my two major browsers, where I have one section for my Hollywood this channel, and another section for my videos for my other channel, right? And so, I looked at my one browser, which I usually get to second when I'm doing the videos here, and it has like a good 15 tabs open. So I want to cover these tabs today, and I'm going to add this story to it. I just saw this story a second ago. Jameel Hill, and Michelle Beadle weigh in after Pat McAfee lambasts ESPN executive Norby Williamson. His first name is Norby. And so this has to do with the Jimmy Kimmel, Aaron Rodgers thing, right?
Understand that more people are watching this show than ever before. We're very thankful for the ESPN folks being very hospitable. Now, there are some people actively trying to sabotage us from within ESPN.
And Norby's one of them. Frickin' Norby. Look out for Norby.
More specifically, I believe Norby Williamson.
Norby. It's Norby.
Is the guy who is attempting to sabotage our program. I'm not 100% sure. That is just seemingly the only human that has information, and then somehow that information gets leaked and it's wrong, and then it sets a narrative of what our show is, and then are we just going to combat that from around?
So this guy, Pat McAfee, used to be a punter for the Indianapolis Colts, started his podcast, and it blew up, like Joe Rogan's and some of these other podcasts. And it went from some kind of, multi-million, like $6 million valuation to $500 million. And ESPN is looking to bring in a younger audience, and, ESPN and these major networks are all flailing in terms of their battle with social media. Social media is much more compelling, and they're all losing their audience. ESPN a little bit less so because, it's sports and they get to do highlights that are copyrighted, and some of these other podcasts can't do that. But for the most part, younger people don't tune into anything that's old school media. So they bought Pat McAfee's show, but they're not loving it. Some of the people aren't loving it there, and they're trying to undermine his success. And also, working for ESPN Disney, it's owned by Disney, they had to get the mandatory bloop. And so that's why Stephen A. Smith, who didn't want to give up his $8 million, was so hard on Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers that he used to love, because, ESPN and Disney were in bed with Pfizer, right? And, I covered this with Jimmy Kimmel's, who did 3 commercials I know about that were pro bloop and Pfizer and all that stuff. They're just promoting this thing. And there was an ESPN reporter who was pregnant. She didn't want to get the bloop, and they fired her. And so it's really bad over there. And so they're on a collision course because every Tuesday, Aaron Rodgers goes on Pat McAfee's show, and he's kind of their centerpiece, especially when he's gone through controversy. And now they're trying to figure that out, right? And ESPN, again, this is year of the amateur. Like, you can't have this kind of content and then control it the way you control your shills. That's why this content's doing better. You can't dumb down this content. They've tried to do this before. The Young Turks who, suck. They very liberal, but the guy Sen Jank, whatever his name is, the main guy there, went on MSNBC to bring in a younger audience, and he was getting good ratings, but he was still doing his internet type program, and they have such a narrow bandwidth that the two things can't go together. Because, the reason why internet shows are doing better is because we can talk about more things and we can be more honest, right? But
every single time, I don't know. But like somebody tried to get ahead of our actual ratings release with wrong numbers 12 hours beforehand. That's a sabotage attempt. And it's been happening basically this entire season from some people who didn't necessarily love the old edition of the Pat McAfee show to the ESPN family.
Norby.
Sure.
There's a lot of those.
Norby's one of them.
We've heard them anonymously quoted in the Washington Post, in the New York Post, in the New York Times, in the LA Times, in Wall Street Journal. And they're never like, yeah, love the show.
This is awesome.
It's always like little things to try to tear us down. So even with the enemy within our own camp, somebody that I don't like that guy. That guy left me in his office for 45 minutes, no-showed me in 2018. So this guy has had zero respect for me. And in return, same thing back to him for a long time.
He doesn't like Norby.
So even with that
Come on, give Norby a break.
taking place and potential PR, like we're still growing somehow.
Yep.
So we're very thankful.
Yeah.
I think we're doing.
So they're getting more. They have more viewers than ever. So there's some former people who work there, and they one person said, "I can relate." The other person said, "Well," and laughing and added a laughing emoji. Norby, we've identified Norby, and he looks like just a really personable guy and just likable and not douchey at all and not arrogant. I mean, this guy just completely likable. And I don't know what's wrong with Pat McAfee that he can't get along with Norby. But, that's what's going on with ESPN. Beverly Hills 90210, Illume, Ian Ziering, attacked by biker gangs in L.A., street ball, report says. And it's way better than you can imagine because it's not a real bike gang. In a video obtained by TMZ, multiple riders on mini motorbikes swarmed around Ian Ziering's vehicle on Hollywood Boulevard before the actor got out of his car. And he goes and pushes a guy, and, he's kind of bigger because they look like they're maybe teenagers, but they attack him in a horde. And I wish I could show it to you, but it's here. If you want to look up this article, you can find this video on TMZ. The title of the video is Ian Ziering viciously attacked by bikers in L.A. jumped in New York City brawl. That's New Year's Eve brawl. I don't know how we could get a New York City brawl in L.A., so I misread that there. But you can see they have little mini bikes, right? This is a little kid here and kind of choking the guy. Ian Ziering gets out of his car in the beginning and is, he's pulls over. He runs out of the car, grabs the guy there. Here he's getting out of the car. He's wrestling with somebody there. Then they all jump him. And then he goes running across the road and giving this kid a piggyback. The kid's riding on top of him here. Like he gets the kid off here. And then they're all jumping him, throwing their helmets at him. These look like teenagers on mini bikes. I don't know what he did to them. Maybe cut one of them off. He's fighting with him here. Trying to get back to his car. He runs back to his car here. Trying to hit him. And he runs across the street again with these guys hanging off of him. I guess that's the start over with. So there's that. And then he gets back in his car at some point, or this is where the video ends, I guess. So again, if you're interested in seeing stuff like that, I wish I could narrate it because it's kind of hilarious. I'm going to watch it again right now. I'm going to pause my video because it was kind of funny. I watched it a couple days ago. I'm in the editing process, and I just want to remind people, it's usually wise to not get out of your car, right? No matter how mad you get, no matter how pissed off you are, no matter how badly you think you've been wronged, getting out of your car is usually the wrong choice, right? You're either going to get hurt, you're going to get killed, or you're going to go to jail or something, prison, or whatever. Like, bad things happen. And you're getting sucked into somebody else's drama. I mean, I don't know what he did. If he cut off one of these kids and they all started to, harass him. And so he decided to rough one of them up. And, things went south because, he's not John Claude Van Damme. Like, he's just a guy who used to be on 90210. And there was a bunch of them, and they jumped up on him like a bunch of little monkeys, right? Like, they went after him. Or seals. I showed you this on my other video. The seals that, my last video here, the seals that surrounded and attacked the great white shark. Very entertaining. The best part about it is they're riding mini bikes. And then there's this. Kathy Griffin finds comfort in Jane Fonda after filing for divorce from Randy Bick. She was married to a guy named Randy Bick. That had to go well. I mean, you imagine being married to her, like, talk about hell. And there's another thing from her somewhere, but here she is with Jane Fonda. You know, Hanoi Jane. The Vietnam vets really dislike Jane Fonda because she went and posed with the enemy on tanks and things like this. They nicknamed her Hanoi Jane. Olympic cyclist dies after being hit by car. Husband reportedly arrested. So she got hit by her husband driving a car. I mean, that's what it looks like. Taylor Swift's year in numbers. 3 relationships. 24 New York City nights out. 100 private jet flights. 2 albums released. 66 Eras tour. 9 Chiefs games. And 24 New York City nights out. In case you were wondering. Lizzo shows off slimmer figure in booty lifting leggings. New year, new me.
New year, new me. You know how they say run, don't walk?
Okay, so the thing is, her big claim to fame, and I don't care about people's weight. I mean, it's a health issue, you know, whatever. Some of it affects us, obese people. Certainly the plane thing, you know, that's something else. But I don't, you know, get into people's weight. I've put on weight as I got older. And we all, you know, have to figure out what our natural weight is, and people are obsessed with their bodies, whatever. But her big claim to fame is that big is beautiful, and that, you know, she celebrates her weight. But now we find out that she's attempting to lose weight because she seems to have lost significant weight, which means that she doesn't really love her body the way it is, right? That she secretly has been working on losing weight, and so that blows up her whole thing. Lizzo's whole thing is that, you know, be happy and celebrate and big is beautiful and things like that. But now we find out it's all a lie.
Teleport, bitch. This is the Ultra Lift legging and bra with our new square neck design. You have no idea how hard it was to get into this.
We have a pretty good idea. Okay, so I watched the rest of her, you know, I covered the rest of her video here, but I didn't know there was music behind it. If there's music, they're going to copyright it, so I can't show you anymore. I might have to go back and edit what I already have here. But again, you know, she has marketed herself as being okay with being big, which is, you know, fine. You want to do that, that's whatever it is, right? You want to celebrate being big. You know, in other societies, being big was considered attractive in different parts of different times in Europe and other places. And so that is whatever it is. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But she's losing weight, which she actively is losing weight. Plus she talks about how that these pants are slimming. You know, this outfit is slimming her, you know, her body. So if you are okay with your weight, then why are you trying to make it look slimmer, right? So, you know, that's all a lie. You know, and again, you know, there's health issues that you're encouraging when there's an obesity epidemic, and that's, you know, that's there, right? If you ever watch that show, The Biggest Loser, the most interesting episode, like each year they'd have an episode. I think I watched, like, you know, some parts of a couple of seasons. But the episode that's interesting is when they bring in a doctor and tell them what's going on with their internal organs and how their life is going to be shortened by 10, 20, 30 years by their, you know, lifestyle. Because that's what happens when you are obese, right? And you just don't have the ability. I mean, as I've put on weight, I've realized there's things I can't do anymore that I used to be able to do. And so, it's been a concern of mine for health reasons. I don't care about the appearance as much as, what's going to allow me to live my life the way I need to live it and do the work I have to do and all of these things. And so, she's just a big fraud is what I'm saying. Sophia Bush says she was broken and betrayed by 2023 amid divorce. Ashlyn Harris romance. I don't know who this is, but 2023 betrayed Sophia Bush. She was on One Tree Hill, so that's why I don't know who she is. She wrote on an Instagram post here that she feels betrayed by the whole year. She filed for a divorce, and then she had a new romance with Stacker star Ashlyn Harris, and stopped caring about the optics. Anyways, this is her. My whole life, what a year, my whole life, I've heard, I'm not going to read this. On second thought, Kathy Griffin rings in the new year with Sia amid divorce from Randy Bick. 2024 is going to kick ass.
No.
This looks like Sia put on some weight. I guess that's Sia there.
No.
It doesn't look like they're ringing in the new year. Do it, Sia. Wait, what's up with this dude's hair here? He's wearing like a built-in tinfoil caps. Look at that. Look at those horns he's got. Whoa. That was scary. Oh my God, what is going on there, bro? What happened there, bro? Remember, she did something to her lips. She got permanent tattoos or something. Oh my God, what's going on, bro? Bro, come on. Like, that is just not right. Okay. Look, give everyone a kiss.
Cheers.
We're on a private jet. She went to a Kardashian Christmas party. And here it is. 2024 is going to kick ass. It's going to kick ass. Or, whose asses it's going to kick. These guys right here. These dudes right here, they're getting their ass kicked by 2024. Updates Feds ground 737-9 nationwide. There was a fuselage that blew out mid-flight. And here it is, so it's coming up in a second. I'll cover that on my other channel. Shia LaBeouf, confirmed in Catholic Church, intends to become a deacon. Confirmed in Catholic Church. Shia LaBeouf is going to be a deacon. The View co-host Sarah Hines uses sex to ask her husband about chores. I'm going to get what I want. Exactly. This is the year you women put yourselves first. This is the year women should put themselves first and stop playing second fiddle to your men.
One of them was don't talk about chores afterwards.
You've never done anything.
Have you ever asked about chores
Okay,
after? I feel like you have.
Not right after. So what happens is sometimes when I recover, I stop and I say,
She's got to recover after being mounted by her.
babe, did the plumber call today? And no.
I could totally picture
I
this.
have occasionally, I need to wait a little longer, which is why I look at my phone. Like, give him a full 5 minutes before you ask him a question.
How about the
There you go.
next day, though?
Hell no, I may not get to see him the next day. We have 3 kids. We run in different directions. When I get him, I
We get him, he gets
get
him.
him. He got what he wanted. I'm going to get what I want. Did the plumber call?
Yeah, there you go. She barely doesn't enjoy her sex life with her husband. Vegas felon who hurled himself at a female judge said he was trying to kill her because he was having a bad day. I'm not going to show you the video, but she tells him some bad news he doesn't want to hear. And he runs up and jumps over the bench and starts beating the crap out of her as other people come in. Somebody sent me this. Again, can't show it to you here, but you can find it. And it's pretty epic. Former Marvel star Jonathan Majors to sit down in first interview since assault guilty verdict. Good Morning America. Alaska Airlines flight makes emergency landing after window blows out mid-flight as child who sat near hole loses shirt. So that was crazy. And I guess that's why they grounded that plane. U.S. Olympian Richard Thornton dead at 65 after collapsing on beach in California. And so looks like another cardiac arrest. This dude here. Cher temporarily denied conservatorship of son Elijah, who appeared in court despite missing claims. Cher's request to control her son Elijah Blue Allman's estate has been temporarily denied. Now, she's had a couple of kids, or is it just one kid? Is this the one that was, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I guess he was gone missing here, and he's probably using drugs. Nigel Lithgow steps down from So You Think You Can Dance after Paula Abdul's sexual assault claims. Well, then he must be guilty, right? Because he's the centerpiece of that show. He's also part of, American Idol. And now he's got to hide away, so, it sounds like it's true. Server, a waitress, claims unpleasant Brittany Mahomes claims that she didn't tip any staff during Hollywood hotel stay. So this is one of the most annoying people.
Today I realize the world doesn't like Brittany Mahomes, not because she's annoying.
No, I don't like her because she doesn't tip restaurant staff. I worked at the one hotel.
So this is an Instagram model or TikTok model or whatever they have. And she has 1 million views on this video and like 15,000 on a lot of her other videos, right? So, you have to always take these things with a grain of salt, right? But Brittany Mahomes is really unlikable. Anybody who saw that Netflix show that featured 3 quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and 2 other guys, Kirk Cousins, and that other guy, I can't remember his name, Marcus Mariota. But, the quarterbacks came out as likable, and 2 of the wives came out. One wife particularly came out more likable than than Brittany Mahomes, who was the most unlikable person in the show. Very obnoxious, not very self-aware, really annoying, just really annoying. That's why people don't like her. But also, she's cheapskate.
West Hollywood, I was a server, barista, bartender. I did every position, and I believe Brittany was in town to shop for her wedding dress. And my first interaction with her, she ran up over $100 tab. She was with her whole posse. Patrick was not there, but I believe their tab was well over $100, maybe like $130, $0 tip. And that happens sometimes, so I was willing to let the first one slide. And I'm like, maybe she just didn't like me. Maybe it was something I said. But they were there for almost a week, I think, and did not tip a single one of our staff. And not only did she not tip.
So, that's pretty brutal. Because Patrick Mahomes has a $500 million contract. He's bought his wife a soccer team. I guess she used to play soccer. And, this is before then, but she's palling around with, I guess this was in November, so she was already palling around with Taylor Swift or whatever it was. I guess this is before that. She released this video in November. I don't know when her wedding was, like last year or something. But, she has the money, to leave appropriate, tips. And, you don't get paid anything as a server or a bartender. They're tipping everybody now for... Like you go to a grocery store and they want a tip, like that's out of hand. But in terms of like waitresses and bartenders, their whole salary depends on your tipping. And they have to pay taxes on, the government assumes tips are included. So any kind of credit card, anything that you ring up on your credit card, that's the government will think you'll say that you got like an 8% tip with that or something more than that, right? So you have to pay taxes on it, and you're not getting paid basically, right? And so Brittany Holmes, just another reason not to like her.
She was just genuinely unpleasant, and I totally understand celebrities don't owe you anything, especially when you're out in public. As a public figure, you should always go out thinking, okay, the people I interact with are clocking these interactions and they're going to remember this. And I will always remember that, Brittany. I only judge people based off of their character, and I think one of the easiest ways to judge
Yeah,
someone's
I think it's more than that because you're a TikTok model, you know.
character is how they treat someone in a position lesser than them. And let's just say, character assessed.
Okay, so Brittany Holmes, another reason she's not likable. Okay, so I was starting to make this video yesterday, Saturday, January 6th, but I had a video that was up on my other channel that got yellowed initially. Now they've greened it. That's up there now. The video is Miami alien story, and Maureen Joe gets the "Are You Booping Me" award. This was about this Morning Joe segment where this, the fashion industry, a reality TV mom who used to be in an Orthodox Jewish marriage relationship goes to Israel and gives the worst, most ridiculous take on the IDF and Palestine's, even worse than Kennedy's. But they greened it, and I just put that video up this morning, so I'm going to make a longer video here, and this is going to be either up today or tomorrow. And I'm going to add, I just wanted to clear off one toolbar, one browser. Anyways, you've already heard all that stuff. So I'm going to add a second browser now because, I expected to finish that video yesterday, but I just didn't get it done. Taylor Swift's team upset over invasive and inappropriate New York Times op-ed speculating about her sexuality, report says. There seems to be no boundary some journalists won't cross when writing about Taylor, regardless how invasive and untrue and inappropriate it is, all under the veil of an opinion piece. So that happened. I don't know what they're saying about her sexuality, but, I don't know why she's so homophobic. I watched this, the NF song Happy. I watched the song, and then YouTube recommended a reaction video, and it was a woman who was a neurologist or something, and she was crying. Like they showed her the thumbnail, she was crying. And I saw the video, and I kind of saw the video, but I listened to the song. And I'm like, I like the song, but I'm like, why is she crying? Right? But it was kind of interesting. She talked about the benefits of music on the brain and some neuroscience stuff. But her take was weird. I didn't watch that, much of that video. But then I started to get all these reaction videos, which I like, but, I like reaction videos. I don't watch them all the time. But this guy was great. I was really entertained by him. And he said some things that, echo what I say here in a different way. And I showed it to my wife. She really enjoyed it. I know she would enjoy it. But this guy has 4.1 million subscribers, and it's, very entertaining video. And so this happened. Man helping himself to people's stuff at Miami Airport. The guy went to the baggage carousel and just went shopping. Kind of a year the effort thing probably happened last year. He's trying on shoes and stuff, and trying on pants. You gotta, take advantage of the situation you're in. 1 minute I was in a meeting. Next I woke up 17 days later with half my skull missing. Cleaning robot attacks pet dog while owner is out. Video shows animals trying to escape as machine latches onto its tail. There's the picture there. There's a video somewhere. I had the video. Was this it? This came with a video. Well, anyways, there was a video here. I don't know what happened to it. I had this up a few days ago, but you can see that there's the dog and it latches onto its tail. Chemicals that may spread cancer, infertility widespread in packaged products like Cheerios, report says. Well, I mean, a lot of people feed their children Cheerios, little young kids. So that's, excellent. I'm not sure this is true or not, but it kind of is interesting if it is.
This is Larry Graham, bass player for Sly and the Family Stone, and this is his nephew, Aubrey Graham, aka Drake. This is George Wendt, the actor who played Norm in Cheers, and this is his nephew, Jason Sudeikis. This is Wes Anderson, the director of Bottle Rocket and Moonlight Kingdom, and this is his great-grandfather, Edgar Rice Burroughs, the author of Tarzan. This is Samuel Goldwyn, the co-founder of MGM Studios, and this is his grandson, Tony Goldwyn, the voice of Tarzan. This is Sir Michael Balcon, basically created the British film industry and has a BAFTA award named after him. And this is his grandson, Daniel Day-Lewis. This is Violet Asquith, member of the British House of Lords, most likely at one point was banging Winston Churchill. And this is her granddaughter, Helena Bonham Carter. This is Harry Warner, one of the founders of the Warner Brothers. And this is his grandson, Cole Hauser.
So, I'm not going to check this out because I don't have time. And I don't, but that's, you can't minimize the significance of nepotism. So here is a pig going after some people here, one dude particularly, and then the other guy gets involved. But the pig ain't having any of that, and then, I saw this in India. My kids went out to, there's monkeys in India at different places. And my kids went on some tourist thing where there are monkeys. Monkeys often are there at tourist places. And one of their friends had an ice cream, and the monkey just came out and stole their ice cream. These monkeys realize people are bonus holes, especially in India. In India, I read a book, and it called, maybe it was like Manhunter or something like that. It was written by a British hunter. And in India, like in 1920, when it was under British rule, something like that, in the early 20s, 1900s, he was there, and he was killing tigers and leopards that were just munching on people. Like these leopards and tigers had eaten like 500 people, crazy amounts of people. And he was a hunter that, tracked these animals. These animals were usually old animals that could no longer catch wild game. And one leopard would go to this village where they had these clay huts, these huts with clay walls, and it would just dig a hole into the people's house and go through the hole, grab a person, drag them out, and go eat them. And, I was thinking about it back then, like that would never happen in America, right? If that happened, there'd be no leopards. Like America would go all out. That's what happened to the wolves and, various predators. And I'm not saying one's right or one's wrong. They're taking, you can't just kill all the animals, but you just can't let animals kill people either, right? So there's this, there's two ends of the spectrum. But India, they're already, very passive there. And when you're passive, and the monkeys have figured this out, like animals are figuring this out all over the world, this guy comes up, he just smacks the guy's glasses right off his face, just takes them, puts some eyes wearing them, just putting them on here. No, these are my glasses now, ever. And this person gives him something. Eating it, he's getting some food, they get the glasses back, and Let's watch it again. He just comes up and goes, all right, those are mine now. You're a bonus, so I'm going to sit here. I'm not moving. You're not intimidating me. Just taking your glasses. I'm acting like you. Look, all right, great. You can give me some food. All right, I'll give you your glasses back here. Take them back. So, Michael Bolton reveals he has been diagnosed with brain tumor, underwent immediate surgery before holidays. Self-explanatory there. This is what happens when you really don't know what you're doing on a motorcycle. And this guy goes, boom. He does a wheelie, but he's not paying attention to his friends. And that's what happened. He's lucky he didn't kill his friend there. Walmart, you run in for the chips and dip and come out questioning the fate of the human race. That we've all been there. UK police investigate metaverse in first ever virtual gang boop case. And so I said this to my wife, and she actually looked it up, which was good because I don't have time to do it. But she said that it was a 14-year-old girl, so it's not as funny. I thought it was funny because it's a video game, right? And lots of bad things happen in a video game. We've all played video games where you're killed or, whatever it is, right? Any kind of video game where your avatar gets killed and, beaten up and whatever it is, right? Some kind of fatality in Mortal Kombat. And, I don't know why she just didn't unplug her headset. And I didn't even know the avatars could physically touch. I think that they can't. But I guess psychologically, you go through the same kind of almost, similar experience when something like this happens in virtual world. And so, again, it sounds pretty funny then. It's a 14-year-old girl. It's not as funny, right? Or it's not funny at all at that point. But I don't understand how this even worked or happened. But, they're investigating it. TSA director arrested by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. McMahon had a warrant for her arrest posted in Florida, which claims she and an alleged accomplice named Delroy Chambers exploited a relative suffering from dementia by falsifying documents in their name, according to the police department. So, TSA. So this guy, Bill Ackerman, I got a tweet recommended to me from this guy, Bill Ackerman. And it turns out he is a guy who's going after MIT for plagiarism, with using AI to go through all their papers and all these things for the staff. And he's the guy who went out and got the woman at Harvard for plagiarizing a paper, I guess, when she got into the college. And he's doing this because he's a Jewish person, and he was very upset by the way they were handling with this on-campus anti-Semitism, which has been going, this whole thing that's happening. And his solution is to harass and bully and try to intimidate these academic people and find out that they've plagiarized papers and embarrass them publicly and ruin their careers. And is that the way you want to go about this thing, right? As a people who are saying that you guys are the victims, here's this guy, Bill Ackerman, of what's happening in, Palestine, and you're going to be aggressive and bully people, intimidate them, and, because you don't like the way they're dealing with, this, these rules that have been put in place about anti-Semitism, right? That, no one can criticize because of what happened in the Holocaust or whatever it is. And so you really want to, piss more people off, right? Like, this is the way you're going about this thing. Instead of gaining sympathy, you're doing the opposite. You're just making people mad. The guy's doing this, it's big time news here in all these different places. And, it seems counterproductive. Okay, so I get to wrap this one up here and put it up on the internet. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely born for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.